You're making that face. You think that's too little?
No.
You think that's too many?
Way too many. I'm Lauren Windle and you're on Salt's YouTube channel, and we are in conversation with Davide. Or just David.
Whichever you prefer.
So you know more than anyone that actually using a dating app is kind of tough at times. How, in your experience, can someone be the most successful possible on Salt? And I'm going to define success as like getting matches and actually meeting someone. I
think you want to make sure that, you know, the hope is, and our hope is that if you start chatting with someone and you like them, you use Salt as a platform and as a tool to meet people that you wouldn't meet in your church. They could be just down the road in another church, but you don't have a way that you're going to naturally, you know, bump into them. And that's something that Salt will allow you to do. And actually, if you go and meet someone, then being your true self and being as authentic as possible on the app means that's going to help when you go to meet someone, because they're going to have seen the truest version of you. And that is possible within an app. You know, there's a certain amount that you can't tell, that you can't do unless you actually are with someone face to face. So the best way that people can use Salt is to, number one, be themselves, and secondly, use it as a tool. We want people to be meeting in real life. We don't want people to be chatting endlessly on the app. That's not what it's designed for. We want people to meet, to chat, do a video call. Then when it comes to the answers, I mean, having a fuller profile, statistically, you're more likely to get more matches. You know, that's across dating apps. I
can think that someone looks great from pictures, but if they haven't answered the questions, or if they put like a full stop, or if they've just put one word, I'm like, no, I don't have a clue what you're like. I don't know if you're funny. I don't know if you're passionate. I don't know anything. I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I run the moderation team, and a big part of our moderation is actually the quality of profiles.
Wait, moderation as in you set up a profile and it gets checked before it goes live?
So every picture and every text answer that is uploaded to Salt goes through human moderation by my moderation team.
What do you think of my pictures?
Oh, you'd have to ask my team. I haven't seen them.
Is that so that people can't put up like pictures of their PP?
Yes.
How many PP pictures have you turned down?
Not many.
But that's happened.
It's
always. Oh no, I've turned into Mr. Upfire.
You always get the occasional sort of troll profile.
Specifically to like...
Yeah, people are doing it because they're trying to, you know, troll basically, and
troll Christians, troll dating Christians.
So our moderation team obviously won't let that kind of content through. And we...
Is there any other tea you can give us? Like the wildest thing that someone's complained about, or the weirdest thing that you've stopped someone from uploading onto their profile?
Yeah, a lot of quite odd pictures. I mean, the ones... some people like to upload some sort of satanic stuff if they don't like, you know, Christian app. You'll get someone that might post a picture of them with sort of filters of, you know, horns and things like that. That's a little bit odd, and again, we don't let that through. And these are the exception rather than the rule. The majority of our content is great that users upload, so we don't spend a huge amount of time.
Company disclaimer. Tell me the good stuff.
Yeah. It's just the reality is that actually.
Well, I was going to say I've never seen anything like I've seen pictures that I'm like, oh, I can't really see your face properly. Oh, that's not a very good angle. But I've never seen anything that I've been like, oh gosh, how's that gone on there? But that's obviously because your team's doing a great job.
We have an amazing team that are working 24/7. We'll send out an email to people saying basically your profile needs some love, and that's how we want to phrase it, because ultimately we don't want to be a barrier between you meeting someone, and actually we'll only send that out to you if we think there's a genuine reason why we think that you need to make a change on your profile. And luckily, again, we don't have to send that out that much. And most people that are signing up to Salt want to meet someone, and they have an understanding of, okay, I want to.
You've got to put something out there to.
Yeah, exactly that. When you actually use Salt, you can see that is where we spend a lot of our time, making sure that there's good profiles.
If you're enjoying this chat, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for plenty more. Okay, so something you said earlier was about like actually meeting people. There's success often
Yes.
in the sort of people who are most willing to get themselves off of online chat.
Yeah.
I have a specific, literal, hard line amount of time that I think is preferable for that.
Okay.
I want to hear yours. So I've actually got two different metrics. I've got one as in like length of time,
Yeah.
and one as in number of messages, because sometimes messages can fly very quickly.
Absolutely.
If it was number of messages, how many would you say back and forth? So one from me, one from them, one from me, one from them.
Maybe 50 to 100 each. Because initially, are you saying, you're making that face, you think that's too little?
No.
You think that's too many?
Way too many.
Well, I think what you'll find is that at the beginning of a conversation, there'll be quite a lot of very small back and forth. So therefore, oh, hey, I've matched with you. Oh, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
And you'll quickly burn quite a few messages, which is where I'd go to the lower end of 50 to 100. It's about feeling comfortable. And we'd always say you've got the ability within the Salt app to have a video call. So we'd always say have some online chat, always have a video call before you actually go and meet someone in person. Then obviously follow, safe dating advice at that point. And for some people, especially if you're living really locally, then it might be that actually that lead time is a few days. It's let's just go grab a coffee. For some people, depending on jobs and availability, you might need to chat for sort of 2-3 weeks. If you're going over a month, then I think you're starting to get to the point where you should really be thinking about, especially if you haven't had a video call by then. Having a video call is a really good way to just break down barriers. I
really back having a video call, because actually, like in chat, you really can't tell. Like I build up a picture of someone when I'm messaging back and forwards, and then you meet them and you're like, I was reading this in this way, and I was actually taking these jokes to mean that you had this kind of character, and actually it's this kind of character, and it reframes things a bit, and I think you can tell a lot from like just a 5-minute video call.
Absolutely, it's a great idea and something we'd always advise people to do as quickly as they feel comfortable.
Because you know what as well, I get a lot of people saying like if other people's emotions and feelings weren't involved in this, and obviously we do have to be like very conscious of how we're treating people. Yeah. But I've had a few people say like it's the worst when you sit down on a date and you know instantly that you don't have that connection, that it's not going to come. And I've had that a few times, and often, and obviously you don't just get up and walk out. You do the sort of 2 hours, you have the food, you have the drinks, whatever. Yeah. And by the end of it, I always think like, there was so much I didn't see before. I often still don't have that sort of fancying level of attraction. Yeah. But I do really I get to know so much more about them, and that's really nice. Yeah. But people often say like, sometimes you just feel like I'd rather just sort of not be here. When you get that feeling, it can be quite disheartening, like this isn't going to be a match, so I'd rather leave, but you can't. I think the video call is your 15-minute off-ramp. Yeah. It's not rude to do that for 10 minutes and be done. Yeah. And then you don't need to go on the date, Yeah. It's your safety net.
Absolutely, and I think that's a good way of viewing it. It's an opportunity to speak to someone live. You're not going through that situation of, when are they going to message back? Have they seen my message? That some people find really, really difficult about online dating. And therefore, let's book in a time to have a video call, a time where you can feel comfortable, you've got some space, be able to chat. It doesn't have to be for very long. As I said, I just think it breaks down a massive barrier for people.
I specifically asked you that question in terms of like success on the dating app is meeting someone who you have a connection with and exploring dating with them. Yep. But actually what I was quite interested by is that we just had a cheeky lunch, and that's not what success for Salt as a wider sort of company and community is actually like looking for. The aim isn't that every single person who downloads the app then gets married within a certain amount of time. Like what does success look like? If Salt was like the most successful company ever, ideally, what does that look like?
So I think the first thing to say, how awesome is it when people meet on Salt and they go on to get married? And
rubbish.
It's amazing. And to hear those stories are great for us.
I know Salt babies now.
Really? Yeah,
I know Salt in real life. I've got upstairs some little Zara clothes for a Salt baby.
Oh, amazing. I've been to a Salt wedding this summer.
I've been to loads of Salt weddings. Okay. Not that it's a competition.
Send me some pictures. We love to.
Do you want pictures?
Yeah, and we've got an email address that people can contact us on, which is love@bsalt.com.
Oh, love@bsalt.com. pictures.
And we want to hear. It's amazing when people meet and date and get married, and we celebrate every single one of them and genuinely pray for them as they go into married life. That's something that we love to do weekly as a team. But that isn't what defines success for us, because realistically there's lots of people that won't have that experience when using Salt. And we want to be a platform where people can still meet other people, they can chat to them, there can be a community feel, and we want people to love each other really well. And that's something that we really share as a value as a team, that can be really hard in the dating world is like tough, like it's really, really difficult, and we've all got our own experience of what that's like. Whether you're married now or you're still single, everyone has got a previous experience of dating, and for a lot of people that wasn't necessarily easy. So we want to be different. We want people to use Salt and say like, wow, like, okay, I've not met my spouse yet, but I feel like I've got people here that are respecting me and they're loving me really well. And I think that's what success looks like for us as a business.
When we were talking about how we were going to do third wheel dates, which is going so well and we're loving it, so good. It was a case of like, okay, but what would a really healthy date look like? Because we're aware that we're introducing two people on camera, and it has happened that they haven't had the same answer. Like, yes, we've had two people who do want to date. We've had two people who both agreed that it wasn't a match, but we have had a few where one person's been open to the idea of a second date and the other one has felt it was more friends. And we know that that is difficult, and we know that that is an inevitable part of that vulnerability in dating. But it was like, how do we do this in a way that feels really respectful, really honouring? And that's why towards the end of the date, there's an opportunity for them to share like things that they love about each other, that they've seen, that they really enjoy. So you don't leave like, I'm not wanted, I'm not fanciable, da-da-da-da. It's like, actually, they really saw me in that, but the connection wasn't there, you know?
Yeah, and that's the experience that we want people to have. We want people to feel welcomed, we want people to feel loved, and these are all things that people should be feeling at their church.
Thank you so much, David Davide, for joining us. We have loved hearing a little bit more about the ins and outs of how Salt works, and also how we can be more successful on it, but also what Salt sees as success.
And thanks for having me.
You have been watching Salt's YouTube channel. Hit like and subscribe because there is so much encouraging Christian content.